Aloha, friends and neighbors. This is Rollin Frost, Kona Astrologer, and we're on show 925. We're going to go through the last week in August for you. I'm sitting here at a very interesting time. Tonight, the hurricane is supposed to hit Hilo's side and cross over the Big Island and hit Dakota's side. Holy cow. Anyway, I'm working on the last week in August for you. Let's take a look at the details of it. I've drawn you up a chart, and you can see the sun here is in the last degree of Leo while you're watching this, and it's going to go into Virgo and stay in Virgo for the next week, 10 days. Not a bad spot for the sun, although there is going to be an opposition to Neptune. So there's some aversion. We don't like Neptune. Neptune is the ocean. Neptune is bad smells. Neptune. Sun opposes Neptune August 29th. That's Friday. There's a new moon August 30th at 2 Virgo on Saturday. But we're not going to be liking Neptune much. It could be liquids. Could be all sorts of drugs and liquids. Big issues in this country we live in. Mars is headed up towards Saturn. Yeah, Mars is going from 16 to 22, Scorpio, and Saturn's at 18. And so, you know, if you're on the Thursday show, this next weekend for you, Mars is going to be going by Saturn. And the question is, will that put out the fire? Or will that energize the bad guys into doing more bad stuff? This is the greater malefic, according to ancients. And this is the lesser malefic. And so they are meeting in Scorpio, which is a fixed sign. So if they start fighting and doing bad stuff, you know, Saturn can be really bad. The judge could get angry. And when he does, he's going to take it out on Venus here and Jupiter. Jupiter's at 8 Leo. Venus is at 12. So Venus is moving up there to square Mars and Saturn. The girls are going to come out and say, stop the violence, stop all this dreadful blood. You know, and I don't know, Venus could be in the way here. Might not work too well. So she's in some danger. And let's look at this pattern day by day. Let's see, anything else of note here? We still have the Uranus-Pluto square. And here I am on Thursday morning, 6:30, I had an earthquake. Felt it. Usually don't feel them. So I got more serious about the hurricane. Even though I believe it's a Jupiter event. Let's take a look at this more. If you're on the Thursday night show, where you're supposed to watch this show on the 21st of August, the moon is in Cancer, and we're all feeling things deeply. Friday morning, the moon will still be in Cancer to get close to the middle of the day, and then it shifts into Leo. Once you're in Leo, people start to overdo things. You're in the Jupiter zone. Late Friday night, early Saturday morning, the moon goes by Jupiter in Leo, and there's lots of laughing and partying and playing, lots of thunder and lightning. Yes, there's 2 hurricanes. I think the second one on Kauai, according to my prediction, produces beautiful lightning. Anyway, so Saturday should be a nice day. If classic old-timers are right, this is the greater benefic. Here's the lesser benefic. Okay? And, you know, these guys, they're here early, and so Saturday morning, the moon goes by Jupiter first, and there's laughing and expansion, and let's go do so, expand. There's a good feeling. Oftentimes, people are so optimistic here that they will, I used to track gold, doesn't work quite so much anymore, but classically everybody's so, what do you call it, benefic optimism reigns, And so they want to sell their gold and go do new things. That's Jupiter. So the price of gold goes down. You'll see. Anyway. First hits Jupiter early in the morning. Wake up. Wake up. And then go back to bed because the moon's going to hit Venus here about breakfast time. And there's sweets and goodies and sex. And so this is quite a neat time, all at 8 to 12 degrees. Hopefully the Mars square, which starts at 16, it could be a little rough. And there, you know, as you get to that part of your Saturday, it's in the evening. There, I marked it in red. So here's the Mars. And so, you know, things get a little rougher and a little more angry. And those that didn't get goodies in the morning are going to get selfish. And this is dinner time and after dinner and well into the evening. In fact, you'll still be feeling it Sunday morning. Here's the Saturn hit, the square from Saturn, Sunday morning. And you feel depressed and angry, and the great malefic, the judge, the rules, the regulations. Why do we have all these lines and signs on the roads? Saturn, too many laws. Why do they call those guys lawmakers? How about somebody go undo some laws? Anyway, Saturn rages, huh? That's kind of what Saturday night, Sunday morning's about. By the time you get to the end of Sunday, the moon leaves Leo and goes into Virgo. All the vibes change. Monday morning you wake up, moon's in Virgo. You're looking at a new moon at 2 degrees of Virgo. That's not too bad. It does oppose Neptune a bit. You could continue to have trouble with doctors and drugs and oil and gas and, you know, burn that incinerator. Hey, are they going to fire it up with coal or with oil? Anyway, you're probably going to dislike Neptune through the whole month because this new moon is within 4 degrees of opposing it. So people are going to lose faith in faith. You shouldn't be believing stuff anyway. You got to use common sense. That's Uranus. The age of belief was Pisces, 2,000 years of that. And now we're in the age of rationale, secular thinking, common sense. Well, enough of that. Discovery happens Monday night. There's a trine to Pluto. New things pop up. New ideas. Dive deep. Yeah. Tuesday morning, nice. Mercury's happy. The kids are happy. And here's Saturn too. Everybody got organized Tuesday in the middle of the day. And Mars is with them. And it looks like constructive work could be done. You discover what you need. You talk it over in the morning. You make a good plan and you execute in the afternoon. So first comes the talk, then comes the planning, time and money, and then comes the execution here in the afternoon of Tuesday, August 26th. Could get a lot done. Hope you do. You can continue the job through Wednesday, at least to the middle of the day. And then the moon shifts into Libra, and everything changes again. Well, the Hawaiians used to say you got to do the job in one day. Because sometimes these changes are fairly radical. In this case, this Libra thing is going to turn on the old problems with electricity and power and control, a feeling of alone. The Uranus-Pluto square, eek. But before you get there, early Thursday morning, the moon's still in Libra. Here's a nice sextile to Jupiter. Here comes wisdom and natural knowing. And I hope it helps you Thursday morning, because by the time you get to the middle of the day, even before lunch, here's a square to Pluto. And eek, a bug, panicky stuff. You know, too much Pluto. All you see on TV is sharks and zombies. And I'm awful tired of those things. Pluto things. Let's talk about recycling. Anyway, here's Uranus. The interruptions come in Thursday night when the moon opposes Uranus. And you feel shaky and you worry over earthquakes and tornadoes. And here's this feeling of aloneness, huh? Now, you're kind of used to this. A couple months ago, it was happening on your weekends, and then it worked back into Fridays, and now it's worked back into Thursdays. So you could call this the eek a bug, I'm all alone syndrome. And it's on Thursday. Yeah. Friday morning, Venus's day. And you know what? Here's Venus, and here's the North Node, which is a lot of nurturing and niceness. In this case, it comes along with Venus Friday morning, August 29th. Now, this is early. I mean, here we're really talking in a way, well, these lines are 2 a.m. in the morning, and so each one of these graduations is 2 hours. So the Venus comes in right here. It's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Of course, it's different for everybody's chart, moves a little bit this way or that way, but basically, Friday is Venus's day, Vandradi, Freya in the Norse. That's why it was named after Freya. She's Venus to the Northmen. And stay in bed and get some enjoyment out of life Friday morning. The vibes kind of continue through most of Friday, but here about midnight, the moon shifts into Scorpio, and it changes again. And in this case, you're going into the Mars zone. Now, I don't know if you can still get by with the loving sweetness of Venus here Friday night, because this is 2 a.m., there's midnight, here's 10 o'clock p.m., the moon shifts into Scorpio, and things could change a lot. But now I think it's good. There's still a lot of bliss, a lot of good feeling around, because Saturday morning, here's a sextile to the sun, here's a trine to Neptune, where we're believing things, we feel like we have faith in everything. Not bad, yeah. But what lies ahead? Look out, here's Mars. And you're going to see that Saturday afternoon, the moon goes by Mars, and there's problems with all kinds of stuff here. Angriness, don't get angry. Well, if you'll get angry anyway. But if you get angry before you do something you shouldn't, ask yourself what you're protecting. Mars is the guy that protects us. Usually he chases the wolves from the sheep, and he prunes the trees when they have a disease, and he does hot things and sharp things, and he protects. He's got a hammer and he's got a saw. You know, here's the EMT, here's the lifeguard, here's the fireman. You know, and firemen don't get angry. No, they know their job. They know what they're protecting. If the Mars that you have inside you doesn't know what to protect, how to go about doing it, there's always physical work to be done. Yeah, firemen are very muscle-like. They got to be strong because it's physical stuff, hammer and saw work. So, you know, ask yourself what you're protecting. And when you find out what you're protecting and how to go about it, in an instant, the anger is gone. It's gone in a split second. But there's a job to do. You got to go out there and move all that furniture, or do something. Yeah. So this is the mantra for Mars. On Saturday night, you might need it if you find yourself getting pissed off. Seriously. Because the next morning on Sunday, the moon, on the 31st, the moon's going by Saturn. And here's come the judge. So these guys have gotten together here a bit, and you know, I would want to be very careful here in how I react to things Saturday night, because Sunday morning you could be sorry, and you're going to get stuck on something here. This is a rather poor time. Since I had that 18 Aquarius full moon, the judge is not behaving. The heads of state, the Saturn characters, are not behaving. Oops, said the Israeli Prime Minister. We didn't mean to kill those 2,000 children in the school. I don't know who did that. Saturn. The judge says, no, we got to continue to execute people. The judge says, no, we're not going to let all those marijuana smokers out of jail. The judge says this, the judge says that. I'm pretty fed up with judges and politicians. I don't know about you, but you're sure going to be feeling that on Sunday. the 31st. Okay, further edification on the Saturn thing. We had a full moon here. That was on the 10th of August at 18 Aquarius. It squared Saturn. So Saturn's ticked off. He's not behaving well. This is starting on the full moon that we're probably still having hurricane trips with. 8th, 9th, 10th of now every week the moon squares it. Here it's in Taurus on this Saturday, and then the next Saturday it's in Leo. See? And so basically it's on Saturdays when you're not going to like the judge, and people get closed in. Judge not, lest ye be judged. The judge is taking the hit now. Uranus is kind of opening up. And I hope to show my anti-incinerator show more often here, but now everybody understands it. Saturn rage at the judge, and at people of authority. Just a note here. I hope some of you on the Big Island saw all those folks go to the county council and testify against the incinerator. They were really impressive people. Well-spoken, very smart, all different kinds of people. It's worth watching just to see what quality of citizens we have on this island. I don't know if they'll be playing it again, but, well, it was good. Just a sideline. I found this in an old file. It's from 2005. And this is, Hawaii does really well when it comes to our toxic chemical. So these are people who track the amount of toxic chemicals that are released here. And, we're down way on the bottom, see? So this is good news. But these are the facilities that report to the EPA. These are the big guys. And a lot of stuff doesn't get reported, But even then, like an incinerator out there, the H power plant isn't reporting here. Almost leading the decline. Let's see, where's the important thing? Releases to the water. Pearl Harbor stopped using so much fertilizer. By contrast, the Army's Poakaloa training range area and several other federal training facilities report increase in lead, plutonium for children, and copper releases to the land of 9% more, 21,000 pounds to get into little kids and drop the IQ. Also, Kauai power plant. Now this is where the H power thing is, and it tops the list, the power plant does, followed by the Army Schofield Barracks. Yeah, Schofield Barracks and Wheeler, Army Airfield and Pearl Harbor. So what are these agencies? These are the big ones. This is a federal government. The worst polluter in Hawaii, spreading lead all over the Big Island. Yep, big organizations polluting us. The biggest office building in the world is the Pentagon. And the Pentagon and the Department of Defense spends more money than any other single entity in the world. Much bigger than any big corporations. And what do? Pollute our island with lead. Pollute Pearl Harbor, etc. Now there's a square in the chart of the U.S. government. Saturn squares the sun. And what you see is too many laws. A good example, driving your car. There's more lines on the street, there's more signs, there's more light signals. You know what happens? You get distracted, you have more accidents. I'm an expert in accidents, especially those on the road. Boy, do I have a history. And what's strange is, they don't track these accidents, but anything that distracts you, especially at an intersection, is bad. You're not watching the people in the other cars. Well, what they'll do is they have some accidents there. Some politician will put in an electric signal. As you approach the electric signal, you got to watch that signal. You're not watching the people, the other cars. More accidents happen. They put in electric signal lights. Saturn, stop, go. That's Saturn, see? Yes. But they don't track accidents after they put it in. No, that information is missing somehow. They don't really investigate accidents. Oh, I was looking at the stop signal and didn't see that lady. Well, it's the same thing on the larger scale. The more laws we have, the more we freeze ourselves up. It's like putting ropes on ourselves or something. And the same thing happens when you drive. Pretty soon all you see is lines and signs, and the accident rate goes up and up and up. And that's an example of what it's like to live in a country with the sun squaring Saturn. So we need to have a special bunch of people that just go, stop, take laws out. Too many laws. Too many laws. Choking our country. Well, to present time, I'm here on Thursday morning, and everybody else is gaga about these hurricanes. There's 2 of them, huh? Now this is the GOES satellite. Though anybody who's got internet access can get to this satellite. Let me show you how. Okay, whatever you're using, Explorer or Chrome or what, just go GOES satellite. GOES stands for the geostationary satellite. And when you get to it, don't get distracted by all this other stuff. Just go for the main website, GOES. It's a NOAA, NOAA.government. And here's what you'll see. Now, this guy is a full U.S. map, and it's very colorful. But over here on the left, you will see all the different products that NOAA puts out. And what you're after is a special image set. You want to get Hawaii in the best way. It's tropical East Pacific wide. And so you click on that, and you'll get this site, which gives you the Hawaiian Islands and the Pacific coast. And you go down a little bit more, and it gives you options. Now how do you use this map? I like either visible here or water vapor. The water vapor is nice because it has a lot of colors in it and gives you what water there is. Let's go for that. Okay, here's the loop. It moves. It's a loop. Yeah. And essentially it looks like this. Okay, here's Hawaii. And you can see the islands here in red. Here's Iselle, the first hurricane, and Julio, the second hurricane. And you can watch them move, and you can watch them turn. And when I first saw Iselle here, it had a very tight center. Now they're saying that this hurricane tonight, I'm on Thursday morning, they say Thursday night, this thing is going to hit Hilo here and go on over the Big Island. Now, there's a long-standing argument amongst us all. You know, somehow, we had an earthquake here. That's a Uranus event this morning. But somehow, I don't know, maybe there's something in my technique I don't have. But I saw this as a Jupiter event. But there's a long-standing idea that when hurricanes come here and they see Mauna Loa, which is, 14,000 feet high, 3-mile high islands, the biggest object on the earth is Mauna Loa. It goes down under the ocean. It's a huge, huge mountain. And when this little hurricane, it's little compared to that, starts to hit Mauna Loa, well, it either goes up here and around, or it goes down there. And like never in history has one hit the island and crossed the island like all of these professionals are telling us is going to happen. So we're going to find out about this tonight, and we'll see what happens with this. Over here, they've already got this one, Julio, which is spinning up pretty good. They've already got him pegged to go north of us all up here. Now, you may remember all of my predictions involve Kauai. Yeah. So here's the new moon that happened July 26th and goes real strong for the next month. And here was the new moon, the sun and the moon and Jupiter all up there in the same spot. And when you looked at the astrocartography, it's right up here on top. I saw this as a Jupiter event, and it crosses over the island of Kauai and maybe West Oahu. Jupiter's thunder, lightning, storms, water, flooding, not a Uranus high wind hurricane sort of a thing. Okay, here's a hurricane predictor. Uranus on the bottom of the chart. The dotted line goes right up through New Orleans. And another area would be New Zealand. Here's Uranus on the descendant. And it goes down through churchyards. Could be earthquakes, hurricanes. Okay, especially worrisome is Uranus at the top of the chart, where you get public chaos, the way things look after a hurricane or a big... Look at that line, goes right through. There's millions and millions of people living in here, in this little area. So that area is a high danger area too. Okay, now, do you know your rising sign? It's important. Most people who study astrology get into it because they want to know more about themselves or their partners or other people. But here I'm going to sell you a different idea. You can study the dogs barking in your neighborhood. You want to get the app. Sky Mirror Astrology will get you the website .com, where you can take a look at the thing. I think it's $5 for your iPhone, and that's pretty cheap. And what it does is you just press a button and you get an accurate chart of where you're at, which planets are on the angles. The dog's barking, like, oh, there's Mars over here in the 7th, and they're all angry at something. So, you know, you can study a lot of different things. You don't got to study people. No, but you got to have an easy way to get the chart. You know, Jesus stooped in the dirt and had to write the chart in the dust. The Antikythera mechanism was what the Greeks used to do this. And I loved having the first computers around. I didn't have to, it used to take me an hour at least to calculate and get a chart together. But you don't have to do that now. You just get skymirrorastrology.com, get the app, and start playing. You don't got to study people, but you will learn astrology.